What is going on, my Guardian gamers? It is I, Birdman, back with another Destiny 2 video, and today I'm showing off a Hunter build. Yes, I am doing something a little bit different than Titan. I think this season I'm going to be focusing a lot more on Hunter and Warlock as well, being a full, well-rounded Destiny gamer myself, so be on the lookout for all these other builds and setups we're going to be doing. Today, I'm going to be showing off my little setup with the Renewal Grasp. It's a Stasis Hunter build. It's been around for a minute, but at the same time, there's been some changes and whatnot to it, so I think it's worth looking into. But before I get into the full setup, you can follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. I know you can like, subscribe, comment on the video, let me know some other setups you're interested in seeing, and become a member of the channel to, just support and help out. But let's jump right on into the setup. So with every setup that we do, we like to talk about the exotic that we're going to be using for this build, and that's going to be the Renewal Grasps. These were introduced back in Witch Queen, and it reads, your dust field grenade have a much larger effect radius. Allies inside the dust field take reduced damage, and targets inside the area deal reduced damage. Now, I really like these just because they're kind of like this dual support slash a bit of offense in there. Kind of reminds me in a way of Bubble Titan. I know that sounds weird, but it's, kind of like helping out your teammates, fixing damage, and also at the same time taking advantage of why the dust field grenades are so strong themselves. Now, for our subclass, we're obviously going to be using, the Silence and Squall super. It's the only one that we have. Big thing that I really want Bungie to do is expand upon Stasis for all the three classes. I think they're going to be doing some stuff coming in season 23, but I'm hoping again for a big change, getting some extra supers, extra aspects, maybe some other abilities and stuff like that, and fragments obviously as well. I think that would be, really awesome because I think Stasis is super duper slept on. For our abilities, we're obviously locked into the Withering Blade for our Stasis melee, but these are going to be kind of like the backbone of this entire setup, especially with the main weapon that we're going to be using for this setup. So constantly be chucking these as much as you humanly can. And then obviously we have to use Dust Field Grenade to take full advantage of the Renewal Grasps. Now, for our aspects, we're going to be using Touch of Winter. The reason why we picked this is because it adds extra effects onto our grenade, specifically Dust Field. It reads, Dust Field increases slow field size and creates a small stasis crystal on impact. So this is really great for one of the fragments we're using, being able to take advantage of, getting a little bit more damage out of our Dust Field grenade. And then finally, the Grim Harvest, defeating slow to frozen combatants creates stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you and your allies. So obviously this is going to feed really well into our Withering Blade so that we're able to constantly just be chucking around those ice shurikens all around the battlefield. For our fragments, we're going to be using Whisper of Hunger, increase the melee energy gained from picking up stasis shards. So this is obviously going to flow into Grim Harvest very well. Whisper of Shards, shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit, so ensuring that we're getting plenty of grenades to take advantage of with our Renewal Grasps. Whisper of Refraction, defeating slow to frozen targets grants you class ability energy. Now, obviously with this setup, we're going to be using the Gambler's Dodge so that we're able to get our recharge back for our melees, get just more activations of it. So Whisper of Refraction is really great for constantly be able to dodge around. Whisper of Conduction, nearby stasis shards track you to your position. So this is really great for the fact that we don't have to intentionally go grab stasis shards. Whenever we just get near them, they're just going to track to us so that we're not having to take those extra few steps. I would say this is kind of one of those luxury ones. If you want to trade this out for something else, totally go for it, but at the same time it's really nice, just fun extra fragment to use. And then finally, Whisper of Rending, primary ammo weapons do increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Now we're going to be mainly using a primary ammo weapon for this entire setup, so this is really nice for just faster damage and being able to take advantage of shooting those stasis crystals that our Dust Field grenade will create. I keep talking about this weapon that we're going to be using for this setup, and you guessed it, it's the Monte Carlo. If you've looked at my other Titan videos, I'm obviously super high on the Monte Carlo. I have been for a while. This is literally one of my favorite weapons in the game. It is just so freaking good. Monte Carlo methods is an intrinsic trait. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully recharge your melee ability with each kill. So essentially meaning that whenever we get our kills, we're gaining more activations of those stasis shurikens to just chuck around and just freeze targets constantly. And its main trait, the Markov chain, This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. Melee kills grant ammo for this weapon. So obviously chucking those shurikens is going to refill the mag, so you're able to just keep on keeping on. Now, when it comes to all the armor and mods you're going to be using for this setup, obviously on your helmet, I really recommend using kinetic siphon so that you're able to take advantage of getting orbs with your Monte Carlo. And then always I pick a hands-on and an ashes assets to just get as much super energy from my grenade and my melee. Since we're gonna be constantly chucking those shurikens, hands-on is an absolute must. I promise you, you're going to be getting your super back a whole hell of a lot. On our gloves, I recommend heavy-handed so you're able to get those orbs of power whenever you chuck one of those shurikens. Again, you're gonna be doing that a lot, so absolutely take advantage of it. And then impact induction, causing damage to your melee, reduces your grenade cooldown. And then obviously momentum transfer, doing damage with your grenade, reduces your melee cooldown. Again, I love the synergy between these two, especially on a setup like this where you're using your grenade a lot because of your exotic, and also just the melee, charge melee itself is just super juicy. For our chest, double, concussive dampener, big fan of, just, because I don't know, just because I am. And I just did the harmonic resistance just for a extra mod spot. On our boots, definitely recommend double absolution. For actually my entire hunter and probably my warlock setup as well, I don't have a whole lot of the artifice armor, so still working towards that. But again, I think all these mods are going to be the best in slot regardless. And then finally on our Titan, oh my gosh. And then finally on our hunter cloak, I definitely recommend distribution and powerful attraction. And then I added a bomber just as an extra mod slot. Now in season 22, this artifact doesn't really add a whole lot to any of our builds, and it's not something I really want to focus into, just purely off the fact that this is going to go away, and this is all based on those elemental orbs, which I find to be a very interesting and weird concept. I don't really want to make builds around it because this is probably going to go away, and I just don't really recommend anything right now except for maybe monochromatic maestro if you're using a stasis weapon. If I had to change out anything on this setup, I'd probably go to our weapons and probably say that you could possibly go into the Aegir Scepter, take better advantage of it. I would love to see a setup with this, with the Renewal Grasp, especially the fact that the catalyst for the Aegirs does that super high charge beam with our super, and we're able to get our super back so freaking fast with all of the orb generation that we're getting from our ice shuriken. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we're going to be doing a whole lot more hunter content here soon, so be on the lookout. But also, please give me suggestions down below. I definitely need help with this character just because it is not my usual. I'm a hunter main. A Titan main through and through. See, I'm already getting confused. But again, suggestions are always helpful. But you can follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. And again, subscribe to the channel, become a member if you are liking the content. But regardless, hope you have a great night, day, whatever it may be.